Hey guys, I could not wait any longer to talk to you about the crazy news scandal, the Joe Best confession, and I'm just going to tell you my story about this. I'm an unsuspecting person to talk about this because I'm here in the Midwest, never been to Thailand, never met Harley, Freely, Joe, Annie, Jill, anybody else. And so you wouldn't think I would have much to say, but I've watched the whole thing, the whole confession. I've seen all of Durian's videos. I've seen all of Joe's videos. First heard it from Ozzy Warrington, okay? Lots of drama at the Thai Rape Festival. This is what happens when the negative vortex starts to affect all those that follow the cult leaders. When all you do is put out hate into the universe and bully people, things are going to happen. Negative energy attracts negative things. This is something the cult leaders fail to understand. So I apologize. I cannot read to you. I wish I could read to you all the comments, but I had initially just responded and, I didn't know anything about it. And I wasn't arguing anything about it. I was just kind of pointing out, like, oh, you're obviously a real subjective person. You're calling him a cult leader, this and this and that. You're saying all he does is put hate out into the universe and bully people. So obviously you're a really subjective person to listen to, And I was like trying to get more information. And the whole thing that this is about, I'll tell you right now, is between whether he was a friend or a friend that secretly had sexual urges. That's all it's about. It has nothing to do with harassment, has nothing to do with unwanted advances. But I'm just saying what my personal intuition is and what I learned from this shit because they're making it all public. And I just want to say kudos to Joe for having the balls to keep this shit public because transparency is huge in crumbling this new world order. Oh yeah, I said it. Yeah, so I'm called a cult leader or a cult follower because I stick up for DurianRider, or I wasn't even really sticking up for him. I was just basically saying, like, can you give us, when Ozzy says this shit on here, I'm like, what I said was like, can you, give us some details? No details were to be given. He was calling him a rapist, blah, 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 blah. And like, again, he blocked me, for this shit. So I'm just like, adds to my suspicion. So anyway, go check out Joe's videos. He's got a lot of screenshots on there that I'm really, like I said, I'm really glad that they saved because I think it's important. So we start on the meat and potatoes. Oh, excuse my pun. That's horrible. So, before I watched the videos too, I was expecting some crazy like video confession, but no, this is all on text, little teeny text and tape recorder. Everybody does videos, but for this, we're going to use the audio. What the fuck? Are you kidding me? Okay. Thanks. Let us know how it goes. What did you talk about before? Okay, so they at first are like saying freely, they're like talking about freely endurance and they're not going to take sides, right? Okay, so here's the thing. In the beginning, they're saying Harley is actually looking out for Joe, saying, look, you can't let them have this house. Joe apparently is coming to Harley saying, what do I do? Should I let them take this house or not? Okay, this is how it starts out. And he says, no matter what, you cannot have 9 people in the house you're renting. An accident could happen. What happens if one of you gets injured, and given what kind of your relationship you have having now? Annie says, oh, well, the only reason we want to stay in this house is so that we have enough time to get our stuff together. Okay. And so Joe's like, okay, come on. Really? This is bullshit. You're all travelers. You don't even have that much shit. There's only a couple of you guys that have like hardly any shit at all. And go to a hotel is what he says. Like, Jill's like, but we will stick together. Okay. And Joe's like, I understand. Joe says, I understand that. But Harley said, You can just go to the Airbnb and move in there and then find a house from there. But the issue is that they're not comfortable having all this tension because what's going on. So Harley and Freely are not comfortable having all this tension, and they're not caring about me particularly. They think I've been shitty. This is on the thing. You can see it, you can hear it. They think I've been shitty. They told me to grow up, and he fucking deserves it. He does. I'm not going to say he's 47. He fucking deserves it. Grow up, Joe. Right? But they're not caring about me particularly. They think I've been shitty. They told me to grow up or fuck off. They said that if you don't go vegan, go away. That's what they said. I didn't even read that clearly or hear that clearly before, but go Durian. So it's not like they're giving me cuddles and shit, but what they're saying is that if there's a very tense situation in the community, the gossip starts, my reputation is shit, and it doesn't even matter. And then Jill says, well, my reputation does matter. And then Joe says, I realize that, but I'm doing the best I can to amend that, but I think staying in the house is not helping the situation. So it's very obvious that what's going on, whatever started prior to the recording of this video, we're talking about they want the house, obviously. Durian, he's giving them feedback. This is what they're talking about, is they're trying to get him to move out and let them all stay there. So she's worried about her reputation, okay? He's like apologetic, and I think staying in the house is not helping the situation. She's like, I think we all agree on that. Then that's it. I think to leave. And she's like, yeah. But then he says, so the girls are all like, well, we don't even want to be connected. We want to get out of here. So how are you going to make it up to us? Do you think it's just all solved now? And he's like, no, I don't at all. And so they're like, well, why are you still talking to Marissa? You said we would have no contact as of yesterday. And then they go into the shit. Joe goes into the shit about making her seem like a stupid little bitch in front of everybody. We don't want to be blah, blah, blah. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to even make excuses. I wanted to go to Happy Green. I was driving home and I said no. And she's like, but you know what the situation is? You didn't have to talk to them. Why'd you talk to them? He's like, they came and sat down next to me. And she's like, yeah, but you don't have to talk about this. And this, because they're like, but you didn't have to talk to them. Why'd you talk to them? He's like, well, they just came and sat down next to me. You know, it's like, this shit happens when you have mutual friends. You know, you can't just be like, don't fucking talk to anybody. Oh my God. You know, like, it's so black and white. Why'd you have to talk to them about this? Why? And what they said, and it's kind of unclear, you know. Why? Why do you have to talk to them about this? Why? Okay? Everyone feels sick that you used us. Everyone. Okay, this is the fucked up part. Every one of our parents, this is Penny talking, by the way, warned us about coming here with you. Everyone. But us, being good people in this great community that you've fucked up. Okay, time out. Time the fuck out, bitch. I don't even know who the fuck Penny is, but I don't like you already, because then she goes on to say, why do you feel like you're still welcome here? And people wonder why vegans aren't always some stuck-up, judgmental, fucking stupid bitch. Because seriously, this is bullshit. And this whole idea behind, oh my God, he had a weak moment and binged out, or he has an addiction, or whatever. Like, it's just like, fuck him. He ate KFC, so we can't fucking listen to him. And I didn't know what the fuck I had to say about this, but why the fuck? You have to hate women if you fucking listen to Joe. Fuck you. It is not even true. If you would get a hold of your fucking panties long enough to actually look at the facts instead of get all mental, emotional about your past. I was sexually abused as well, but I'm not projecting that onto this situation, and I don't think that all men are fucked up because they want to love you. Especially if you're flirting with them, sitting on their lap, teasing them, basically 24/7. But that's just what I can see. I'm not saying that actually happened. I'm just saying that it looked like to some people that this was a happy couple on the outside. And I'm just saying that it wasn't necessarily just Joe going around saying, oh, we're together, blah, 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 because that's how they want to make it seem here. Everyone feels so sick that you've used us. Here's the clue. If all your parents are warning you to do something, then... Okay, here's where it gets really, really interesting. So Jill goes into this, and I swear it sounds scripted. Listen to it. It does. I'm traumatized by all of our conversations. What you did to me. I thought we were such close friends, and you fucking abused my friendship so much. And now you're abusing me, that I'm known here in this community, and Annie too. This is so sick, just to promote yourself. You don't even know how abused I feel deep inside, and you know about my history. You know my past. Like, oh, You know how hurt I was when I came to you. You know everything about me. So they're like trying to dehumanize him. They're like, do you even feel anything right now? What do you want from us? What is it that you came here for? I've come here to get the house basically so that I'm not at risk and you're not, and that we can figure out how to. And they cut him off, and she's like, you still don't. So he's trying to protect himself at this point, and they just don't get it. Of course, he's 47, trying to look out for his self legally, financially, socially, everything. And of course, they don't get it because they're 20 years old and they don't know what liability is, probably. So they're going on about, at this point, what would you think they would be going on about? They're so emotionally hurt, but instead of talking about their feelings or even the house or what they're going to do at this point, they start talking about deleting messages. And again, this is another point where I'm like, what the fuck? I have really good instincts, because Jill, just her voice, like, I'm telling you, I never liked this broad, okay? You agreed yesterday on deleting all messages, all the recordings, all the videos. Joe's like, I haven't had time. And she's like, yeah, because you use them. She's like, or Enos, you have your computer now. You can do it now. So they're pressuring him actively to try to get him to delete all of his files. A reminder, this is 9 females. And so they're like, delete everything. Would you fucking do that? Would you just delete all your shit just because 9 broads ask you to? Because why? They're not even giving a good example of why. Oh, because it's her reputation, as we will find out. But why is she worried about her reputation if she was sexually harassed? When you're sexually harassed or like raped, which is what, I first heard about this situation, it was that somebody had been raped. So actually, he says he'll do it. He says he'll do it right now. But what's going to happen about moving out of the house? And the girls are like, well, I'm moving out. Do you think we want any more connection with you? And Joe's like, no, I don't think you do. So don't worry. And then they're like, so don't worry about that. We don't even want to be in contact. So why are you still talking to her? Ruby says, as of yesterday. Shannon says, you said no contact. Why are you still talking to her? What is the logic in this? They say they don't even want a resolution. Just stop talking. And they're like, oh, you can't do this to girls anymore. So apparently they have, girls' best interest at heart. Although, who the fuck goes and stays with a 47-year-old guy? It's not creepy in general? Is that just not a given? I mean, where are these people being raised? That's what I want to know. It's all his fault, It's not anybody else's fault. So then they skip. Jill says, but what do you think? On Sunday you said to her, beep, beep, beep. And then it says, due to some girls wanting to keep a few details private. We have skipped a few minutes ahead. Oh, that's really credible. Let me just tell you that. She's like, Ines is like, we're moving out, don't get it wrong. We didn't even want to stay one more night. We don't even want to stay one more minute. Okay, and then Antonia says, it's just that you keep changing your mind. And then Jill says, you say that you'll leave the festival. How do we know when? And so they're trying to get him to not only leave the festival, but like not come to any of the events. And he's like, fine, I'll go. I will leave. I will not go to any more events as long as the house is empty. So then they're like, well, they just don't even accept that. He's like, the only thing that needs to happen the next step is the house. And then Jill goes into, but why are you lying to us about leaving the festival? So she can't just say, okay, we'll get out. So that's red flag number 76. So Joe's like, I'll leave. And she's like, but how do we know? How do we know? And Annie says, if we empty the house by today, will you today? And he says, I'll leave today. I guarantee I'll leave today. So Penny says, quick, everyone pack. And then Jill goes back on their word and says, you guaranteed us yesterday several things. So then they go into some more specifics, and then Penny brings up KFC, which again is a low blow. I would rather pat somebody on the back for taking those first couple of steps than sit there and say, you're not fucking part of our community because you fucking had a binge and you fucked up, bitch. Get the fuck out and don't come back. Fuck you. Take your fucking stupid little fucking vegan community and go shove it up your ass because you're just a fucking bitch. Okay? So anyway. So at this point, this is where it gets really interesting. Okay, so Penny starts digging really deep, and she's like, you had it good, Joe. You could have gone far. You had the best people behind you, the most caring, genuine, helpful, and you single-handedly fucked this up. So they're really playing deep into his emotions at this point. So what are you going to do for your future? Continue to fuck that up? So this is some real emotional mind fuckery. You know what I mean? Because you fucked up the best thing that you could have had, because these are the best people that you could ever know, on and on. At this point, probably at least 20 minutes. Look, Joe's like, look, I'm in a bit of state of shock. I can't really process it all. And they're just like, shock, blah, blah, blah. They're just riding his ass for just over and over. He's like, I can't really process it all. And then she says, shocked that you got caught. And he's like, it's shock I got caught, but that it's really happening. My behavior doesn't seem to line up with who I think I am. So I'm trying to reconcile that. And like, how have I? So he's obviously feeling some guilt. These girls are making him feel like shit, questioning who he is, what he's going to do with his life now, and all of this shit, right? So he's saying, even my mates, even my guys out there saying, are you sure you haven't done anything else? And these are my mates. So that right there, even in the middle of duress, even in the middle of a state of shock, he's basically admitting that he didn't do anything really super freaky crazy, because those are my mates. Like, he's worried about how they're viewing him. And Annie says, they're just as manipulated as we are. And he's like, you should have heard his voice. It says, I think so, but it's pretty defeated voice at that point. And they're like, maybe you should go on like psychotherapy. Penny says, quote, there's no help. You're 47. There's no help for you. So this is really fucked up shit. This is why I said, I mean, if you hear it too, it's the tone and the inflection and all of that is one thing. But when you hear what they're saying, like, this is some pretty evil shit, you know? These are not innocent little children that are talking to, you know, the scary old man. You know what I mean? This is, and the way, I think the reason why they didn't choose to video is because it's pretty much scripted. So that's just my intuition. This is just what it's telling me. So Jill's like, I don't care about me right now. She's worried for everybody else, blah, blah, blah. She just wants to, you know, help everybody out. And she says, I'm not scared for myself. I've been through a lot of shit. I can go through this too with these amazing people behind me. I'm scared for other girls because how easily you manipulated me. You'll do this again. You've done this before. So, of course, her intentions are pure, supposedly. So Joe's like, I'm just listening to you. I don't know what to say. I'm just taking it in what you're saying. It's more severe than I think it is. Okay, when I hear you talking about this. Okay, so that's a couple of lines in a row. He's like, what the fuck? Really? Like, of course, he's got 9 females against him. 1 female alone is probably scary enough for interrogation, but there's 9 females. How the fuck is he gonna say anything regardless of whether he is fucking being recorded or not? This is fucking bullshit. So Then Jill wants to know. See, Jill's a little mastermind here. She's like, well, why did you go to Freely and Harley and defend yourself? She's really pissed off about this. I wonder why. Because Harley actually gave Joe some good advice so he didn't get scammed by your fucking bitch ass. I'm sorry. Why do you go to Freely and Harley to defend yourself? You showed them not even 1/8 of the situation, not even 1/100th. Even the selfies, Jill says. That was Penny. Now we're at Jill. I know about the selfies. I know about the messages you sent. They all know about the messages we sent too. So everyone knows the story. So basically, there's an admittance on their part that they were sending sexually suggestive messages to this person and expecting him to not even want to put a fucking hand on their thigh or play romantic music, or else it would be sexual harassment. No, this doesn't sound like a double standard at all, does it? Okay. Then Jill goes on to say, we Skyped. Do you have the Skypes recorded? No. And Joe says, were the Skypes bad for you? She says, no, but they give a lot more image to all of this. So that's kind of interesting. They don't know about a lot of our inside jokes and everything. So inside jokes, it's totally 100% just a joke, and we know that, but we're gonna flaunt it in your face and sit on your lap and let our fucking boobs hang out over the table and basically make a lot of other people think that we're together and have great chemistry, and then and then call sexual harassment and call in this big fucking march, and then all of a sudden people are calling him a rapist and calling Harley a rapist defender because you're saying he sexually harassed you by giving you a fucking massage and trying to make people think you were together. Wake up to the real world, you little girls. Seriously, wake up. If you know what's good for you. We spoke about Tantra. What I'm trying to get at, this is how I see it, right? Where I've done the most damage is communication with everybody. I know they were jokes. I told you they were jokes. Don't you think where I've done the most damage is in communication with everybody? Don't you think the most damage is in our heart? Well, of course, he's a guy. He's going to go out and boast his ego and make it look like he's got a chance. He's not going to go off in front of other guys with a puppy dog fucking tail between his legs and say, oh yeah, they're staying with me, but I don't have a chance even though they let me sit on their lap and massage their butts. Like, grow up. If this isn't fucking desperate cry for attention, I honestly don't know what the fuck is. Don't you know the most damage is in our hearts? Marissa is worse, even me, than all the others. I cared for you as a friend. Do I have to say that again? I cared for you. We were together 24/7. No? Oh yeah, baby. 24/7. Yeah, we were starting a business together and everything, but hey. And she was like, yeah, I see that. You fucking hurt me. Okay, this is, again, highlight. I put all my trust for my future. Everything in this house. Do you know that? I wanted to move here. I wanted to create a business with you for my financial security. Oh. Okay, so it goes into this whole thing about they think that he's actually playing on them because he's saying to them that when he feels rejected, and that he's told them that when he feels rejected, he binges. So they think that that's emotionally and sexually manipulative. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. But again, what kind of level of, when you know a guy is a guy, when you know people have sexual urges and you're going to flaunt them all over them. I mean, if it's a 47-year-old guy and you would never want to Like, and you know that you're making him think that, obviously, and that there's been talk of relationship in the past, which obviously there was, and you're still going to continue to, sit on this person's lap and, room with them and all of that. No, you don't fucking do that. Like, then he goes on to say, can I be honest with you about something, all of you? And you're probably going to hate me even more, but I still don't like I feel so bad saying it. I still don't quite understand why everyone is so angry. I'm just being honest with you. I don't understand. I don't quite get it. Okay, Jill, he doesn't get it. That's after Jill comes with this whole, like, I put all of my future into this house. Like, what the fuck? Your whole future into one house with an old man? I don't know. It's just weird. Why would you do that? So Jill's like, you don't get it. I want you to explain it more because, and then they go on to make him this manipulative to get person. And Annie came here with the expectation that you and me are together. Are we together? So he's holding him accountable for her thoughts. She's like, just be honest. Did you think we were together? And he honestly says, I thought there was something. And he says, I thought there was something between us. Yeah. When I looked on how we were communicating, I generally thought there was. So this is your big confession, you guys, that he thought he had a chance. Big fucking deal. You lead a 47-year-old guy on. What are they going to think? Sure, we have a special connection. I always said our friendship is special. She admits it. They had a special thing. You know? There were things like, I love you. I can't wait to see you, is what he says. She admits, I do love you. I did love you. So they were saying, I love you. And so he was talking to other girls. He said things to her. He said, oh, maybe this, maybe that. And so they're mad. And so I think what happened is that they realized that he was talking to more than one girl. So they decided that they were going to do this to him. And I'm sorry, but just because a girl says something, or even 9 girls says something, doesn't make it true. Apparently what happened is Jill told Joe, this is what Joe was saying, Jill told Joe that Harley and Freely were on their side. So he went to go talk to them. So Joe's like, I understand. I'm not done with this. It's not okay. I won't sue you or anything for sexual harassment. You don't have to scare. I'm just not okay with you shedding a few tears and saying, I don't want to feel like an abuser. I'm sorry. You abused my emotional state so fucking much and it's not okay. Blah, 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 blah. So Joe says, well, how did I abuse your emotional state? And so Joe goes on to say, well, you knew my sexual situation, my sexual fears. And Joe says, but what was it that I did that abused your emotional state? Interesting. Flying you out here or talking to like a fucking like soap opera or like Jerry Springer, for real. Lying to me about why I'm here. You told me that I'm here because we will create a business. Not you to touch me, not for you to create a power couple. Yeah, I see that. That's not what I've told you. Touching me and knowing I can't reject you because you will go binging and then you will blame me. That's pretty escapist bullshit. Who cares? You can reject him. That's just a defeatist statement. Knowing I can't reject you because you will go binging. No, that's on you. But you told the other girls too. That is rejection is what triggers your binging. So they're mad for emotionally manipulating him, supposedly, for telling them this because they think it's manipulative. Putting him on the spot, saying that he's lying. Of course, again, what is, he to say? I know what I've tried to explain to you is that I think I've been and it sounds so hollow. I've been so manipulative with all of you, and I don't even know what I said anymore. So he's completely like doubting reality, like everything that he remembers to be true. And at the time, I'm not trying to make any excuses, but at the time, I don't even think it's wrong. So that could go either way, obviously. I think it's like how I want to. So he is, he's to the point where he's self-doubting at this point. They've been grilling him for so long now. I mean, the video is like an hour long. The whole recording is like over an hour long. So he's just dealing patiently with all of these girls, just grilling him. And then so Jill says, oh, there's a naked girl in my bed that I agreed on doing lymph drainage massage, and I will just touch her because I'm so fucking sad and because I don't have a girlfriend for many years, and I just want to have a bit of sexual thing going on with the 20-year-old from Germany that I agreed on doing business with because I'm financially fucked. Plus, I know about her sexual abuse. I know that she can't react. I know that she can't react when she's sexual harassed because she just shies down. You did know everything. So all these girls had to do is make up a story and tell them that they just can't possibly say no, and or else they'll feel bad. And then he'll know that, so he'll have to control himself, right? Is that the story? No, honey. I don't give a shit if you've been abused or not. I realize it is more difficult when you've been abused, as I have, but you still get a hold of your life and you don't blame your mistakes on others. Let me read this again. I know that she can't react. I know that she can't react when she's sexually harassed because she just shies down. What a bunch of bullshit. You can't shy down anymore. You know what, honey? If you've been abused that much, then you wouldn't put yourself in that fucking situation in the first place, and neither would your parents let you. So you can just take your little whiny bullshit somewhere else, okay? And then you go around and ruin my reputation in the community that I see as my future. So it's her future. It's not Joe. She doesn't give a shit about Joe's future at this point, obviously. Wow, yeah. The whole story is so clear. You did know everything, and then you go try to ruin my reputation, try to ruin my friendships to the girls in this house. Do you feel sorry? And she's like, I do. Get me the fuck out of here. And she's like, please don't do this to anybody else ever. You should go home and take care of your mom and brother. That's the only thing. Don't do any YouTube videos. Don't lie to people. Stop abusing kids in Thailand. Are you kidding me? Pretending to be such an inspiration. Go home and care for the people who love you because we're done with you. There's no place in this community for you. I mean, this is some severe psychological bullshit. And I don't know, but I really don't know who the fuck put this bitch Jill in charge of the entire Raw Till 4 community or whatever, but she doesn't fucking speak for everybody to say this community is no place for you. I don't give a shit if you binged on fucking KFC last week. I will still help you as a person to be vegan if that is what you are aspiring to do. Now, I realize there are some fake people out there who are just, trying to do things for their own good, but this is just dumb to send out that vibe because it'll only backfire on you in the long run. It's not helping anybody become vegan. Oh, she's like, can you see that I did care for you? And Joe's like, I can. Jill says, do you respect me right now? And then Joe says, yes, of course I do. And then Jill goes right into literally, basically just then, if you respect me, then delete all the messages. Why? Why do you keep messages, recordings, everything? Joe says, fear? Oh, good job, Joe. I applaud you. You have every right to be scared. Jill says, I just want to have my reputation back. You know me. You fucking know me. I've not built myself up out of the dirt for 1 year to come here for you to ruin me. Has anyone else got something to say? And so they go into how much he paid, trying to say he was charging everybody, but really nothing is ever brought up specifically. I won't message you. He's just trying to get never again. And then Ina says, no matter what she says, like, I will not allow for that. So basically admitting that Marissa was texting with Joe, and that's the only reason why Joe is texting with her. Classic setup move. So they're still trying to get him. So he finally tells that how much, and they're trying to say you ripped him off. You ripped him off. He's not saying anything. It's just a bunch of girls. And then Joe just says, wow. And they're talking about turning them against us before they even got here. Just because Joe's like, maybe, just trying to explore his options, or maybe he's a player or whatever. I mean, I'm not trying to give the guy the benefit of the doubt at all. He's a fucking dumbass, right? Talking about paying on my food. And he didn't tell the deal. So apparently it's the big problem of sexual harassment is actually that he's trying to make it sound like there was a relationship, when she basically wanted to act like it, wanted to talk to him all the time, act like there was a relationship. I mean, to me, that's one of those things, like, where do you want to draw the line? Like, you really want to cause all of this drama because of that? Really? And Joe, he's like, wow. Yeah, wow. So he's not even, like, understanding what is going on. We just want to get the truth out. We still care for you. Trying to just tear him down and say he's not inspirational. Oh, that the only thing he can do is go up a fucking mountain. So Joe says, like, the scary thing for me is that he's totally, like, mind fucked at this point in my mind. And this isn't even, like, towards the end. When I'm doing that, I can see it now, but at the time, I don't even think I'm doing it. So he's admitting to something, but what exactly is it? Because you know us, but we don't know you. We thought we did, but you just manipulated us and lied to us. Okay, here we go. All I can say is the worst thing about this is that, like, I was simultaneously wanting to be friends with you, but at the same time being totally the opposite. Okay, so let me just read this again. The worst thing about this is that, like, I was simultaneously wanting to be friends with you, but at the same time being the total opposite. So, sorry, but, does this sound like a 7-year-old boy to you? Because that is something I would not hold against a 7-year-old boy to say, wow, I really want to be your friend, but I don't know how, especially when you're treating me and when you're sitting on my lap and spending all your time with me. You want to have business with me, you want to cuddle and do sexual things with me, maybe not all the way, but do sexual things and go back and forth on whether you want to even have a relationship. Be very unclear about things, which I've seen the screenshots. And then he says this, and she's like, we know that you believed your lies. If you know that he believed it, then he's not guilty of fucking an idiot. So conflicted. Like, I would do, like, on one hand, I'm generally trying to be, like, a good friend, and everyone I think I'm telling myself I am, and yet I'm not trying to make it like that. He's like, I just don't know how to say it. There's nothing you can say. Do you feel sorry? He's like, I am sorry. They're trying to make him say he won't go to any other festivals. Like, he won't go next year. He'll drop out of the whole fucking thing. They're trying to get him to commit to that. And the funny thing is that when I first saw this video, it said, Joe knows fully that this is declosed. And this is when he asks, this far along. And you can see he asked, are you recording this conversation? And then they said yes. And then Joe says, can you send it to me? Okay, so he admits he spread lies about her. He says, seeing how you are and what it means and looking at it now, I feel that it was abusive. Like, in retrospect, he can see that he was maybe taking advantage of the situation. Because you was here with me under the idea we were doing something else, and I wasn't straight with you about why I wanted you to come here from the beginning. Okay, but again, what female is going to expect a male to be completely honest about not wanting to fuck them as a friend? I mean, do we not all know that guys always want to fuck us? Because if not, guys, let me tell you a little secret about guys and girls. There's no such thing as friends unless you're gay. They're always going to have a secret underlying want to fuck you, especially if you flaunt your tits and ass in their face. Okay? If you're going to walk around flaunting your tits and ass in their face and acting super fucking friendly and sitting on their lap and getting frisky on your bed or whoever's bed, then you probably shouldn't worry about a hand on the leg during a massage or him trying to make people think that you actually like him for him and not just his financial situation. Yeah, I said it. You money hungry fucking hoes. At one point I said, can we just stop this and be friends? When I look at some of the messages I sent you, I also said to you, like, when you kept sending me selfies, I said, I know what you look like. And Jill says, yeah. So obviously she's sending him a bunch of selfies and he's like, I already know what you look like. What the fuck? Anyway, that's the last that I have. But I just wanted to let you guys know this is how I feel, and I really love Henya Mania. But I have to say, big differentiation here. I don't think that you may have looked into it completely before you made a crazy video. And by the way, you can't just give the green go flag, and use people for their money and then act like there's not going to be any, and get that mad over like one missed, physical encounter. Like, it wasn't like you tried to rape her, which is what he's getting accused of. And also, like I said, now Harley Johnstone is dealing with being called a rape enabler all over Facebook at this point. And that doesn't do anything for the vegan community. You may get a few more likes on your little page, but you're not helping the animals. So grow up, all of you, and act professional if you want to be taken seriously.